Hello everyone, this is Sela. In this video we will try to build a mobile app and we will try to build weekly time budget app. So what is weekly time budget? Recently I just watched a video on YouTube and this guy just was trying to explain how he is managing his time. So after that video it just gives me some inspiration to build a mobile app to manage my time more efficiently, because I realized that I'm not managing my time so efficiently. And after that I thought, how can I manage my time better? After that thinking process, I realized that right now I don't know where I'm spending most of my time. So first I need to see where I am spending my time, and after that I can reallocate my time to maybe different things, and in this way I can start managing my time better and more efficiently. So basically you should measure something first, and when you without measuring something you can't improve that, you can't make it better. First you should measure it. So this is where the idea comes from. After explaining where the ideas comes from, I just want to tell about what we're gonna do throughout this video. As I said, basically we're gonna build a mobile application and we will use Ionic with React, and also we will use Appwrite as our backend. We will use Appwrite to implement our authentication system, and also we will store some data on the database by using Appwrite. And I also created an MVP list, which are important features that we should have in this application. But before telling about that MVP list, I just want to explain what we're gonna build. Actually, I just want to talk about it a little bit. We all have a lot of things to do. We all have preoccupations. So let me talk about some of my things to do in my life. For example, I'm a software developer. I have a full-time job right now, so I have to spend most of my time to contribute that job. So I can put full-time job as a first item. And what else? So I love to build some products, some side projects. So basically I can put that side hustles as a second item. So what else? I'm a married guy, so I need to spend some time with my family, with my wife. So I can put another item like family time. So what else? Let me think. Yeah, we all need to get some sleep. We can put sleeping, resting, reading book. Yeah, we can make this list longer and longer. So in this application, basically after creating an account, we will have an empty screen and we will create our categories there, like full-time job, side hustle, family time, and we will add all that categories for in this application. So right after adding all the categories, all the things that we need to do, we need to spend some time, the application will ask us, what are you doing right now? Basically we will choose something, if we are spending our time for the full-time job at the moment, we will choose full-time job, and the application will keep that track until you stop that job. And after that if you stop what was the things that you're spending your time, if there's nothing you choose, app will send you a local notification to ask what are you doing right now. So you should choose something to track your time. If you are going to sleep, you should choose sleeping, and it's gonna continue tracking your time. So at the end, before starting to the new week, we will able to see the reports. We will have a screen that shows us where we spend our times. For example, it's gonna list all the categories that we created at the beginning, like you spent 4 hours your time for your full-time job, you spend 30 hours for your side hustles, you spend another 30 hours for family. So basically it will list all the categories that we created at the beginning, and it will shows how much time we spent for that categories. And this way it's gonna allows us to see where we are spending our time mostly. It's gonna also allows us to see some opportunities to manage our time more efficiently. Let's say if you were planning to allocate only 5 hours for video games, but at the end if you see that you spent almost 30 hours or 20 hours for playing video games, you can sit and think like, oh my god, I just spent a lot of times on it. I could have done a lot of things instead of playing video games. So as I said at the beginning, before measuring it, before seeing that exactly where you spend your time, you can't improve it. So this is the idea. So I just want to solve my own problem, because I don't measure where I'm spending my time right now. I don't know where I'm spending most of my time. So this is the big problem, and I feel like I'm not productive enough. Basically I thought if I have an application to see where I'm spending my time, at the end I can see the opportunities to manage that time more efficiently, and I can be more productive at the end. Okay, after having a long introduction, let's start to build that application. As I said, we're going to use Ionic framework to build our mobile application. I will go into the documentation to see how I can create the project itself, because I should say that I'm not the expert on building mobile application. I'm actually web developer for more than 10 years actually, but I tried to use React Native earlier. Since I have some experience on React, it's actually easy to use for me, but somehow when I try to build some projects with React Native, let's say it works properly for a week while I am developing it constantly, but if I stop working on it and if I come back 1 or 2 weeks later, suddenly it's just stop working and I can't run it properly, and I just got this kind of experience a lot, and I'm really tired of having this experience, and this is the reason why I just want to go with Ionic this time. If you guys also had something similar experience with React Native earlier, just leave a comment to make me feel better, because I want to see that I'm not alone with that bad experience. Anyway, so here we have CLI installation. If you didn't install Ionic CLI application already, you can use that command to install CLI application of Ionic as global package. If you already did it, you can just skip that process and scroll down a little bit. Since we're gonna use React, you should see that quick start, and here we have another command to allows us to initialize our project. So we're gonna copy that and use it. Actually, we should change the name of the application. Instead of using my app, we can change it with weekly time budget. So after initializing our application, let's open it with VS Code, and here we're gonna make it a little bit bigger to see it better. Okay, so let's see how we can run this application in a mobile device. Actually, I will not use a physical device for it. I will just try to run it in a simulator. Yeah, I guess was simulator, or yep, we will try to run our application in an iOS simulator. So let me see how I can run this application. So it says we now have the basics of Ionic React app down, including some UI components and the navigation. The great thing about Ionic's component is that they work anywhere, including iOS, Android, and PWAs. To deploy to mobile desktop and beyond, we use Ionic's cross-platform runtime capacitor. Okay, it provides a consistent web-focused set of APIs that enable an app to stay as close to web standard, blah blah blah. So adding native functionality is easy. First, add capacitor to your project. Alright, so basically we're gonna run this command, and after that we are gonna run Ionic build and the other commands, and finally I guess we will able to run this in simulator. Okay, so okay, let's run this command to enable capacitor in our application. Okay, it is enabled. So let's turn back to here. It says we should run Ionic build. Okay, let's do it. Okay, we will not add Android platform for now. We will just add iOS one. Okay, it says we use the standard native IDs to open, build, and run iOS and Android projects. Okay, so I believe we will not need to run this command to open it in Xcode or Android Studio. We will just add iOS platform by using that command, and right after that we should continue with that comments. npx cap run iOS, and it allows us to run our application in simulator, I believe. So let's run this to add iOS platform to our application. So right now the application is running on our simulator, but the development server is not running. So it means when we do some change on our code, the change will not reflect to our application right away. So in order to fix that, we should have run this code. Okay, so we just run Ionic capacitor run iOS, but this is the actual code we should have run. Maybe we can add a script to make our job easy, and after that we can just run npm run on iOS command, and let's see if the change that we do will reflect Promax, yeah, if the change will reflect to simulator right away or not. Okay, so as you can see, when we do any change, it reflects the change right away. So this is what we want actually. Right after initializing our application, right now we can go to the appwrite.com to create a new project for this mobile application. Let's go into their website. We will create a new project, weekly time budget, yeah, okay, and we will choose Frankfurt to deploy our application, to deploy our project. Okay, so right here we should add a platform. I think we should add web platform, since it's a web application at the end. You know, we are building a mobile app, that's right, but we are using web technologies, so I believe we should add web platform here. No, I'm wrong. Okay, we should add Apple platform. Let's say weekly time budget. Okay, honestly I couldn't be sure for that. Let me delete this platform and I will go with the web platform. So we should install that package. We will create a file called Appwrite to initialize that Appwrite's library here. And we are going to export that client. So right now let's build a simple login page very quickly. Let's create a folder name out, and we can put our login page here. So we can say login, and right after that maybe we can copy the code from home tsx to make something faster. So let's change it to login, and right here we can remove that unnecessary import. And okay, let's save that, and let's turn back to app.tsx to add a new route for that new login page. We're gonna copy that, and the path will be out login, and here we are gonna use our new login page component. And as you can see, as a base route, when we enter the base route, it just redirects us to the home page. Let's change this to out login basically, and in this way we can see the out page. But what happened here? Does the file exist? Yes, why not? We have that file. Let's source page out login tsx. Yes. Oh, I guess we have. Okay, we forgot to remove that css file, sorry. Alright, so right now we are in the login page. Maybe we can sign in your account. We can change this title, or maybe we can just make it sign in. I think we should rerun this, because somehow it just, I don't know, didn't work. And let me choose Pro Max. Okay. Okay, so all right, so I will just remove that one, and here I can write sign in. Oops. For now, let's change this title to sign in, and let's try to add some input fields to allow user to enter their email and password. And let me go back to here, and let's see input components. Okay, the second one, we can use the second one. Okay, let's copy that, and we should also use the ion list component right there. Okay, ion list. We should import ion item and ion input. So we're going to change the label to email, and let's remove that, or maybe we can leave a placeholder, johndoe@example.com. and let's add another input field for the password. Okay, and also we also need to have a submit button. Okay, let's remove that component. Okay, is there any attribute to change the size? Yes. What was the variable that I can use? Okay, I'll say large. No, it's too big. Let's make it default. Okay, let's leave it like this right now, and let's add some state elements. We should store the email and password of the user, and once user enter that information, we will just use that to make user logged in. Okay, so we should connect that state between that state and the input elements. So we're gonna put value email, and on Ionic change we're gonna use that. And here password, set password. Okay, so this should be password actually. We should change its type to password. Okay, cool. All right, so right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna just create a new user using the Appwrite interface. Let's fill the form. Let's create this user, and right now we should go to the documentation to see how we can make the user logged in. I couldn't see the documentation link here. Support docs. Okay. Okay, we're gonna use that account. Okay. Okay, so let me initialize that account class. Okay, so and I will also export this one. And here I should use it like account create email session, but of course I should import it first. Create email session, and right here I will pass email and password as user entered, and here I should also wait for it. Let's see the response. Actually, it will be great to see the response. Okay, so once user click that sign in button on a click, we will run that on submit callback, and it's gonna create a session using that account API. And okay, so once that session has been created, we should also store that let me think. Actually, no, we don't need to store that session because the session will be stored on Appwrite server. So we will just need to create an out context to it's gonna be like a global state for our application. So we will able to keep that if user is logged in or not, something like that. So in order to create that out context, maybe we can have another folder called contexts, and here we can create out.tsx. Let's have an interface called outState, and so what we're gonna export in this state, so we can export the user. So let's say any for now. We will define the user type, or basically it's gonna have an email, name, yeah. Let's say let's keep it simple for now. And also we are gonna create the context itself. So create context. Okay, so let's create a helper function to use that out context. It's gonna be use out and use context. Okay, so this will be exported, and also we will create an out provider. So let's create another interface for the user, actually. Email and name. And let's use that interface here. So it can be user or null. So it will be the same here. So in this state, the value might be user object or null. So it will be null at the beginning. Okay, so we should use that out provider in our application. We should wrap that application with the global state to be able to access that information in anywhere in our application. So let's try to use that provider right here. And so basically when the application is opened, we should just try to fetch the current session from the Appwrite server, and if there's a current session, we should just set that session into our global state. In this way we will know that if there is a logged in user or not. So in order to fetch the current session, we have another, let's see, Yeah, we should use get function in this account API. So basically we're gonna run an async function here. Let's say response and account.get. We should also import the account here. Okay, let's log this response as well. And right now, how we can see the console logs, we can use Safari for that. Safari browser has a feature that allows us to see that development logs. Basically, after starting Safari browser, you should go to the develop tab, and here you should choose the simulator that you used for your application. And here, once you click that, it's gonna open an external window, and here you can use that, you can choose the console to see the console logs, or if you want to inspect the network request, you can choose the network tab. So right now, after saving all the chains, we can press R key in the terminal to refresh it, but it doesn't work. It's weird. Let's save the change again to refresh it. Since we have a live reload feature, it's gonna refresh it, and right here okay, actually the request has been sent to the Appwrite server, but it seems we have some course issue. Yeah, access control origin. Okay, to solve that course issue, we should go into the platforms. So as you remember, we just created web platform for our application, and as a host name we should put Wilcard to fix that problem for now. After saving that, once you return to your mobile app, you will see that course issue has been fixed. But right now we have another problem here, but it is because we don't have any signed in user in our application. So basically, in this request just returns an empty response, so we don't have any user yet. So we can handle it by using try and catch block here. So after that, let's go back to the login page and let's try what we're gonna get after running that sign in request, after running that creating an email session request actually. All right, so as we created our user by using this email and password, I'll click that sign in button and let's try that. Password must be at least 8 characters. Okay, then I should change the password of the user. Save it. All right, let's turn back here and try the new password. Okay, it's weird, it says invalid. Okay, the email is correct. Let's go to the network to see what is the payload that we sent here. Let's clear it, and here, okay, so okay, so the request has been completed properly right now. Okay, so the sign-in process is completed. So let's try to refresh the page to see if we are able to fetch the current session or not. Yes, as you can see, we are able to fetch that current session. So in that request, okay, we have the user email and name as a response from that request. Basically, we can use that information to set our store that information in our state. So let's try to set user. So we will put email from the response, and also we will put the username to the state, and then we will save that. Okay. Let's try to redirect user to the dashboard once they are logged in. Let me check the documentation to see how we can redirect user to the different page. Okay, so we have a hook called to use Ion router, and in this router we have push. Okay, we have push function, and we can use that to redirect our user to the another page after they're logged in. Yeah, I'm gonna just import that use Ion router hook here, and let's use that. So basically we will just redirect them to the home path. Okay, I forgot to store the user after they are logged in. In here we did something different. When user enter our application, we will just try to fetch the current session as an initial request, but once user fill out that login form, and when they click the sign in form, and if the credential is valid, we should also store that user information in our state. So in order to do that, maybe we can expose that function outside of the context, and we can access that, we can use that function to set user. Okay, so let's do that very quickly. Okay, after creating that session, we can run the same method to get the current session, and right after that we can put that email and name information here. Alright, in this episode we just started building our new mobile application, and we created a new project on Appwrite for this project, and also we implemented login process for our application. For the next video, I'm planning to implement creating some categories for the things that we want to track sometimes, and while implementing that category creation process, we will also see how we can store some data on Appwrite. Right now I also don't know, we will learn together, I hope, and hopefully later on we will also try to implement tracking sometimes for that categories. And yeah, that's what I'm planning for now. Hope you enjoyed while watching the video. Please leave some comments if you like it, and see you on the next video. Bye.